My wife's new job made me a single parent overnight. Despite suggesting counseling, she refused. After years of handling everything, why is she shocked when I did this? I was married to my wife for over 20 years, and we have 2 kids together, a 22-year-old son and a 20-year-old daughter. For most of our marriage, things were pretty balanced. We both shared the housework and took turns staying home with the kids. I stayed home with our son and daughter for a year each, and we had a good system in place. Things started to change when my oldest went to high school. My wife got a new job that required her to travel a lot and was very demanding. This meant I had to handle everything on my own, about 2 weeks every month. Even when she was home, she wasn't keeping up with her share of the work. We tried to adjust our chores to fit her schedule, but I ended up doing most of it. When the pandemic hit, it got even harder, but I tried to hang in there, knowing the lockdowns wouldn't last forever. When things didn't get better after the pandemic, I suggested counseling, but she missed many of our appointments and didn't really commit. At that point, I decided I wanted a divorce. However, it was a tough time for our family. My son was getting ready to go to college after spending his freshman year online, which was a big financial and logistical challenge. My daughter was struggling with depression, and I became her main support, while my wife was often away. I decided to wait until my daughter was in a better place mentally, and until our finances were more stable before filing for divorce. For 3 years, I was essentially a single parent, trying to manage everything on my own. I occasionally suggested counseling again, but my wife wasn't interested. We barely had any intimacy during this time. And there was a summer when she moved to North Carolina, work for 6 weeks, only coming home on weekend. Last year, once my daughter was in a better place and starting her sophomore year of college, I sold some of my investments to set up a trust for the kids to cover their college expenses. Then I filed for divorce. At first, my wife was very upset and moved back to North Carolina. When she returned 4 weeks later, she wanted to work things out, but I told her I had decided to leave years ago and wasn't interested in trying again. We went through mediation and got an amicable divorce. My kids live with me now and support me. But most of my in-laws and even some of my own family, except my sister, think I'm the bad guy. They believe I should have pushed harder for counseling or made it clearer how important it was to me. They've called me selfish, and some of them have refused to interact with my kids. For example, my daughter's grandmother hung up on her during a video call because she saw my daughter was at my house. They also caused a scene at my son's graduation, making him choose between celebrating with them or with me. I encouraged him to go with them, and we had our own celebration later. Since then, he's been living with me and has had very little contact. I truly feel I did what was best for my kids, but it seems like their mom's family is punishing them, and I feel like a terrible father. I realize it might have been more mature to deal with my relationship with my ex more directly, but I thought it was about more than just the 2 of us. Honestly, I feel that my delay has made things harder for my kids, but I still believe that prioritizing them over my own feelings was the right choice. Wow, this blew up more than I expected. Thanks to everyone who commented. Your feedback has helped me see things from different perspectives. A few common questions have come up, so here are some answers. 1. I created this account for a dating question earlier this year. I used it now because I didn't want to share my issues with a username that's more recognizable. 2. When my wife took her job, our finances were doing well. Her new job paid more, which helped us save more for our kids' college. We both work in tech, but her job required a lot of travel. We planned to move to a less demanding role near home eventually, but promotions made that impossible. 3. As for my investments, I work in tech, and a significant part of my salary comes from stock option. I sold some to pay for my daughter's college and cover my son's debts. 4. I don't think infidelity was an issue. My wife is very introverted, and her long hours in hotel rooms are more about work than anything else. Number 5. Our divorce was legal and straightforward. We divided our assets without much trouble and didn't need to involve lawyers much beyond drafting the final paperwork. We didn't end on great terms emotionally. The process itself was smooth.